guys, it's Rachel here today, and I'm coming to you at 1 o'clock in the morning on Tuesday night to do a book haul for you guys. This is my Christmas book haul, and I'm really excited about this book haul because I have a whole bunch of books to show you guys, and it's probably going to be my last book haul for quite a while. I'm going kind of on a book buying ban, but not really on a book buying ban. More of, I just want to read some of the books that I have right now because there's a lot of really good books that I have right now, and then just to wait until some of the better books come out to purchase them. So I'm not exactly going on a book buying ban, but I'm not going to buy as many books as I normally would because I am trying something different this year with my book buying habits. Yeah, so today I'm just going to show you guys some books that I gotten for Christmas and some of the books that I got today when I hung out with a couple booktubers. So I'm going to first start off showing you guys the books that I got with the booktubers that I was with. I got to hang out with Whitney from Witty Novels, Reagan from Proust Project, and Lindsay from Angelic Audacity, or Lindsay Ray, today, and I was so freaking happy to do so. I hung out with Reagan and Whitney last year when I did a booktube meetup, but this year was the first year I got to hang out with Lindsay, and it was just so much fun. We went to Half Price Books, and then we went to have lunch together, and then after that we went to Barnes & Noble. So we had a super duper good time. I was so happy to hang out with them, like I said, and I'm just gonna go ahead and show you guys the books that I got when I was hanging out with them. So the first book that I got when I was hanging out with them is going to be The Martian by Andy Weir, and this book I've been wanting to get for a while, and I actually really wanted to get the hardcover edition of it, but I haven't really been able to find it anywhere, so I went ahead and picked up the paperback edition of it. And if you guys don't know, this is a story about a guy who goes on a mission to Mars, and he gets there and apparently he loses connection with the people that he goes with, and they end up leaving him stranded on Mars, and then he has to basically survive on Mars knowing that they're probably not going to come back to get him. I've heard exceptional things about this book, especially from Brock from Let's Read, and Lindsay got this book as well, and I am looking really forward to reading this. Like I said, I've heard exceptional things about it, and so I'm really looking forward to getting into some interesting sci-fi fiction. The next book I got is going to be The Book of Ivy by Amy Engel, and this book has been making the rounds on BookTube. I know this got sent out by Entangled Teen to several booktubers, and for the most part everybody that I've seen talk about this has pretty much raved about it. I haven't had super good luck with dystopians as far as YA goes here recently, so hopefully this is going to be very good. From my understanding, this is a kind of post-apocalyptic world where some kind of disease has wiped everybody out, and it's caused this like class kind of system where it's divided, and there's rich people and poor people, and basically the daughters of the poor people have to marry the sons of the rich people to kind of balance things out. So our main character is promised to the president's son, I believe, and her mission is to kill him, but of course she's gonna fall in love because that's what happens in these types of books. So I'm looking forward to reading this because, like I said, I've heard exceptional things about it. I haven't seen a bad review about it, except I know that Whitney did not like this book. I think she gave it like a 2.5 stars, but I'm looking very forward to it nonetheless. And then the next book that I got is going to be Station 11 by Emily St. John Mandel, and I got this because Reagan got it, to be honest with you guys, but I have heard really good things about this. This was in Max from Molan's Books top books of the year, and I've heard really good things about it. I'm pretty sure this is a post-apocalyptic world where I guess shit has gone down, and it's got basically the end of the world aspect, but it's also in like a theater setting. So like I said, I've heard really good things about this book, and it was 20% off, and I would have never even thought about this had Reagan not mentioned it, so I picked it up and I'm looking quite forward to it. The next several batch of books that I got is going to be from Barnes & Nobles. I ended up, after we finished hanging out, I went to go hang out with my family. I ended up going to the Barnes & Nobles in Louisville, which had a wider selection of the books I was looking for. Specifically, I was looking for several books at the other Barnes & Nobles, but they were out of them, so I went ahead and went to the other one to go pick up a couple books there, and so I'm just going to go ahead and show you guys the books that I got when I was there. So the first book that I got is Ancillary Justice by Anne Leckie, and now this has been making its rounds on BookTube recently as well. This won the Hugo Award, I believe, this year. I know it did win the Nebula Award for 2014, and it was nominated for the Hugo. I'm not 100% sure, but it has been making its round on BookTube. It is a sci-fi book. I'm not exactly sure what it's about, but like I said, it's been making its rounds. I know that Liz and Max both read it. When I was at the original Barnes & Nobles, they only had Ancillary Sword, which is the second book in the trilogy, I guess. And so when I saw Ancillary Justice, I went ahead and picked it up. I'm quite looking forward to this because I'm trying to venture more into adult fiction, adult fantasy, and so I'm hoping to really enjoy this. And then the next book that I picked up is going to be Half the King by Joe Abercrombie, and this is going to be, I believe, Joe Abercrombie's venture into young adult. Now, if you don't know who Joe Abercrombie is, he is the kind of forerunner in grimdark fantasy, and grimdark fantasy is very dark fantasy that kind of doesn't follow the same tropes as a normal fantasy would do, and Joe Abercrombie is well known for his grimdark fantasy, so I'm quite looking forward to seeing his take on like young adult. I'm pretty sure that this is about a young man whose father is the king, and that his father dies, and I believe his father dies and his brother dies, and then it's his turn to be king, but he is probably not a likable character. I doubt he's a likable character because I don't think that any of Joe Abercrombie's like characters are supposed to be likable, but I'm looking quite forward to this. The writing is huge in here, but I'm hoping to really enjoy this. I've been wanting to pick this up for quite some time. The next book that I picked up is going to be The Storied Life by AJ Fickery, and now this is the book that I've been looking for non-stop, but I haven't been able to find it anywhere, and unfortunately this edition is the paperback edition, but you know, I can live with it. This is a book about books. It's what book about that brings people together through their mutual love of books. I was like at the behest of Reagan and Lindsay. I wanted to get this. I've heard nothing but good things about this book. I've really wanted to read it, and hopefully I'm going to enjoy it just as much as they did. And then the next book I picked up is going to be Lock-In by John Scalzi. This is John Scalzi's newest book, and haven't read a Scalzi book yet, and I'm going to read Fuzzy Nation first, and I think I'm going to read it with Max. But I've heard really good things about this one. I'm not 100% sure what this book is about, but I think it's got to do with some characters that get locked in within their bodies, and people can like rent out their bodies, I think. I'm not 100% sure what this book is about really, but I'm looking quite forward to this. I'm thinking it's going to be really good. And then the last book that I picked up when I was at this Barnes & Noble is going to be The Only Thing to Fear by Caroline Tung Richmond. And I haven't seen a whole lot of buzz about this book. However, I believe that this book is it's like a what could have been World War II novel. So basically this is the story of what would have happened if Hitler would have won, if Germany would have won World War II. So we have on our picture, on our cover, a picture of the White House, and on top of it is going to be a Nazi flag. I haven't heard too many people talking about this book, but I'm looking quite forward to it because I really like reading books that take that perspective. Not that I wanted Hitler to win or anything like that, but I like books that take the plunge into speculative fiction. So I think that this, hopefully will be very good. It is young adult, so I'm probably going to have some kind of romance in it, but I'm hoping that it does center more on what would have happened if Hitler would have won the war. So those are all the books that I picked up when I was at Barnes & Nobles today, and then I have just 4 more books to show you guys, and I'm very excited to show them to you. So the next book that I got and very excited about is going to be The Girl with All the Gifts by M.R. Carey. Now, when I've been looking for this book, I haven't been able to see it anywhere, and on Amazon it was sold out. And so when I was at a Barnes & Nobles at one point, I was browsing through sci-fi fantasy, and this happened to be there. Now, I thought that this was like adult fiction, literary fiction, something around those lines. I didn't realize that it was sci-fi fantasy. So there's that. All I know from the cover, from the synopsis, is that it says, every morning Melanie waits in her cell to be collected for class. When they come for her, Sergeant Parks keeps his gun pointing at her while 2 of his people strap her into a wheelchair. She thinks they don't like her. She jokes that she won't bite, but they don't laugh. Melanie is a very special girl. So that just sounds amazing to me. Reagan just recently read this. I didn't know what any of this book was about, and then when I was hanging out with Lindsay and Reagan, they both said it was apparently zombies in it, and I was kind of bummed that I found out what the book had to do with, or there was stuff in the book, but they both said that it was really, or Reagan said it was really good, so I'm looking quite forward to reading this to see if it's just as good as everybody is saying it is. And then the next 2 books are probably some of the most exciting books that I have in my book haul, and they're going to be Froy of the Exiles and Quintana of Sharan, and these are the second and third book in the Lumiteer Chronicles. And I'm very excited to get these. So I wasn't even done reading Finnegan of the Rock before I went to a Books A Million Barnes & Noble to pick these two books up. I was very excited to see both of them there. If you guys don't know, I absolutely loved Finnegan of the Rock. I have a full video review that I'm going to be posting here very shortly, and I can't wait to get to Froy of the Exiles, which is the second book in the trilogy. If you guys don't know what this trilogy is about, this follows our main character named Finnegan, or this book takes place 3 years after the events of Finnegan of the Rock. But if you don't know what Finnegan of the Rock is about, it's the story of our main character named Finnegan, and Finnegan is trying to get back to his home of Lumiteer after 10 years following the events of the 5 days of the unspeakable, in which the whole entirety of the royal family had been massacred. And so it's pretty much just a fight to get back home, and it is so good. I really enjoyed it, and so I needed to get my hands on the next books in the trilogy. This book is substantially bigger than the first one, but this makes me really happy because the first one's 400 pages. This one is nearly 600 pages, and this takes place about 3 years after the events of the first book, and it follows our character Froy, who is a side character of Finnegan of the Rock, as well as Quintana of Sharan, which is a side character of Froy of the Exiles. So I'm very excited to continue on with the trilogy. I'm not sure if I'm going to wait till February to read this with, or March to read this with Lindsay and Sarah. I may read it before because I really want to get to it, but I'm looking quite forward to getting to these when I do get to them. And then last but certainly not least, the last book that I have to show you guys is going to be There Will Be Lies by Nick Lake. Now this is an ARC copy that I got from Bloomsbury. I requested this, and this is the first ever physical ARC that I've ever received that has the actual like printed date of when it's going to come out. This book comes out on January 6th, and this follows our main character who she lives a very protected life. The best that I can tell you guys about the synopsis is that right through the back where it says there will be 2 lies, then there will be the truth, and it's pretty good so far. I guess I'm about 50 pages into it. I requested this book because I had heard really good things about it, and then I've started it, and it's really interesting. I have some theories of what's going on in here right now. Something really interesting about the writing style, and this may just be because it is the ARC copy of it, is that when anybody's talking, there is no quotations at all. All of the dialogue is italicized, so that's really interesting to me. And I'm having a couple of issues with certain things about the book, but I'm hoping to finish it very soon anyway, so that I can post a full review of this and get it back to Bloomsbury when I am done with it. So yes, this is There Will Be Lies by Nick Lake, and this does come out on January 6th, 2015. So yes, those are the bazillion books that I got during Christmas. I'm so excited to read all of them. I am going to try very hard to read all of these as soon as possible so that I can buy more books potentially later on. There are a couple books that I do want to continue to get that I'm going to be getting when they come out this year, but I'm going to spend most of this year focusing on reading the books that I have on my TBR right now. So yes, other than that, if you guys have read any of these books, please let me know down below. And other than that, thanks guys so much for commenting, liking, and subscribing, and I will talk to you guys in my next video. Bye!